So today we'll use a strap of some type. Now, if you're able to, if you're doing this on the recording, we're gonna use, like what I've got is a round band that I just tied. It's like one of these PT or TheraBands, but they also come in a circle. You can buy them that way. So if you happen to have one, grab one of those. If you don't, then I'll give you an option. You can also, if you don't have one of these, grab any kind of strap because you'll need it for something else, okay? And we're gonna start on our backs with our knees bent. So in constructive rest pose here. And once you get there, just take a sigh. And then a big inhale through your nose. And then another sigh. Letting go of tension if you can. And then another big inhale or wide inhale through the nose. This time let's blow out like you're blowing out through a straw slowly. And we'll do that again. Good. Notice your feet. You can go into any kind of yoga breathing or your natural breath. Let's notice your hips. You can even move them around a little bit on the floor. Notice your back, your shoulders, your arms, the back of your head. And then notice the whole front side of your body. And let's widen the feet so they're a little wider than your hips. And just start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. Notice how you're rolling over your feet. Good, and then come back to center. You can bring the feet just slightly closer and begin to rock the pelvis. So pressing the low back down to the floor and then rock the pelvis forward. Let's do that a couple times. You could even put your hands on the front of your hips here and feel that movement happening in the pelvis. Notice your toes on the floor. Good, and coming back to the center, take an inhale really wide. And now as you take an exhale, let's blow out through pursed lips and just use your fingers to find your abdominal muscles that are low right above your pubic bone. And we're trying to engage these muscles that run horizontally across your abdomen. They're below the six-pack muscles. They're deeper than that. You're just trying to feel and find that engage. And then inhale, relax. And try that a couple times. Blowing out. You can lift up from the pelvic floor as well. Feel those muscles. You can hunt around in there with your pinky or your fingertips. One more time. Good. And now inhale. And as you exhale, let's tighten those muscles. Feel them with your fingers and just lift the right knee and foot so the knee is stacked over the hip. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Inhale. And as you exhale, feel the abdominals engaging. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, putting that foot back down. Inhale. Exhale, feel the tightening of the abdominals. Let's lift the left side. Okay, we're going to keep the abdominals tight as you inhale. Breathe into the rib cage. Exhale, feel those abdominals tight. Inhale. Again, feeling the abdominals. And again, inhale. And exhale, lower that foot back down. All right. Now, if it feels okay on your back, we're going to try it with both feet up. So we're going to inhale. And as you exhale, tighten those abdominal muscles and lift the feet so that the knees are stacked over the hips. You could always do one leg at a time. Now, if this feels like a strain on your back, you can press the back to the floor. But otherwise, you can also just try to tighten those abdominals like you're tightening across right above the pubic bone between the two hip points. And then as you inhale, stay there. And as you exhale, can you straighten one leg out forward, not to the floor, just straight ahead. And then inhale, bring it back in. And then exhale the other side. Inhale back in. Repeat. Try to tighten everywhere. If you start to lose your abdominals or really arch your back, like overarch like this, then just bring the feet down and reset. All right, how's it going here? Next time you bring a knee in, let's exhale, put the feet down, and windshield wiper the knees side to side. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling the abdominals engage, and we're also working the hip flexor muscles a little bit in the front crease of the hips there, kind of that area. Now we're gonna try to do it with our band, okay? So the band is a circular band. Now if you don't have a circular band tied like this, or just one without a tie, you are just gonna do what we just did again, all right? But if you've got one, what you're gonna do is put it around both feet like this. Okay, so I've got it around the feet and it's kind of around the arch of each foot. Okay, we're gonna do that same exercise, but it's gonna be harder because of the resistance of the band. Okay, so when you're ready, bring your knees and feet off the floor if you haven't already. Set yourself up in the same position. Take an inhale. And then exhale, and you can hold onto your mat if you want to, or you can put your fingers on your abdominals. Stretch that leg as far as you can forward. Now I'm going toward the floor so I can really get the resistance of the band. I'm keeping the other knee over my hip, and then inhale back, exhale other side. Try to keep those abdominals engaged the whole time. And for me, in order to get something out of this, I really need to bring that foot so it hovers just above the ground. I'm touching my abdominals with one hand just to feel them engage. And I'm trying to keep my upper knee right over the hip. So I'm not bringing it in too close. That's working my core more, but actually that doesn't matter so much. I mean, the core does, but how close you bring it. A couple more. Good, and then next time you come down, let's let go. Take the strap off, place the feet down, and just windshield wiper the knees side to side. You can let your head rock side to side as well. Notice if you were getting tight in your jaw. All right, let's slide the right leg out straight on the floor, keeping the left knee bent. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, let's lift the left knee back to that position we've been in. So knee stacked over hip. You're gonna take your hands to the front of the thigh, right below the knee. Both hands, I'm just gonna press hands into knee, knees into hands, and try to feel that you're really trying to draw the knee in, like you were trying to get to your belly with it, but it can't go because your arms are pressing. And try to get that hip flexor working there. Keep breathing. Relax your jaw, relax your face. Might feel it in your quadriceps as well, those thigh muscles. Really work hard here. Good, and then rest, place that foot down. Straighten out the left leg, just kind of wiggle the leg side to side. And then let's inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, lift the foot off the floor. Get your hands set. Press hands into thigh, thighs into hands. Engage abdominals and breathe. So you're pressing with both hands really strongly into the knee, into the thigh, I mean, and then trying to draw that knee close. But it's an isometric exercise, so there's no movement, but a lot of engagement. Keep breathing. Good, and release. Let's bring the foot down, slide it out, and wiggle. So we've been doing this for the past few sessions where we're working on helping with some of this hip flexor pain, both by strengthening the core, which can help with some impingement stuff, okay, but alignment helps with that as well, sometimes, depending on the person, and then also strengthening those hip flexors is very important as well. And then we do some active stretching in there as well. Okay, here we go. So from here, we're going to bend both knees. Grab your strap again. This time it doesn't have to be circular, but I'm going to use mine because that's what I've got. I'm going to put it onto my right foot and extend that right leg up toward the ceiling. And you may need to bend and straighten it a few times just to, wake up the back of the leg a little bit. Good. If you need something longer, if your circular band isn't long enough, you can always go grab something with a little more length. Okay, now, next time you bend the knee, I'm going to hold both ends of the strap in your right hand and face the sole of your right foot toward the ceiling, but bend the right knee down as close as you can bring it without pain toward your right armpit. So it's like I'm doing like a lunge on the ceiling. Okay, and notice if you have pain in the front of your hip crease right here, you can adjust for your own body. Okay, so you just make sure you feel okay there. You can also reach up and grab the side of the foot if that works better for you. Okay, may be accessible, it might not. Okay, so my thigh is touching my outer ribs and I'm drawing this foot down. I've got my left knee bent. And now I'm going to do that same isometric thing where I'm trying to pull down with my hand and at the same time push up with my foot, but nothing's moving, okay? Get that, feeling that deep in the, maybe in the outer hip, you might feel it in different places. And now from here, I'm going to gently try to bring that right knee down toward the floor on the right, and then come back to center. And the whole time, though, I keep it bent. So you don't straighten the leg when you come back to center. You keep it bent, and you can let yourself a little tip to the side to make it happen. And try using just your right hand. So your left arm can relax on the floor or out to the left. So a big mobility, a big ask on the mobility here. Okay, so just noticing what yours feels like. Keep that push-pull going on, that isometric. Good. Okay, now coming back to the center. Now we're going to let go with the right hand and make like a figure 4 stretch. So in fact, let's start with that. You can use your strap, so just leave it on there for a moment. I'm crossing my right ankle over my left thigh. My left knee is bent. Okay. Now, if it's accessible, you could reach up and get your foot and hold it with your left hand. Now, if that's not going to happen, instead, hold the strap with your left hand, just both ends of the strap. Right arm stretches out to the side. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to press my hand into my foot and my foot into the hand. Okay, so I create that isometric again. Okay, now from here, I'm going to let the foot win as I bring the foot down to the floor on the left side and then back to center, keeping the right knee bent. And repeat. I bring it down to the floor on the left and back to center. Few more times, going into that twist and back. Make sure you are trying to soften through your jaw and shoulders. Good. All right, come back to the center. Let's let go of the foot. You can take the strap off, straighten out both legs on the floor, and pause for a moment, noticing the two sides. Taking a breath in and out. Inhale, bending both knees. Exhale, let's bring the left foot up, place your strap around the bottom of your foot. And then inhale, straighten the leg toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend a few times. If you're not paying much attention to your breath, see if you can take your focus there. Notice the inhale. Notice the exhale. Good. Now, next time you bend it, we're going to take both ends of that strap in your left hand or reach up for the outer left foot. We're bending the knee. The sole of the left foot is trying to face the ceiling, and the knee is coming down toward the left armpit. You can adjust if you have pain in the front of the hip, you can adjust as needed. I'm going to just let my right arm relax to the floor, and now creating that contraction. So pushing foot into hand, hand pulling down on foot. And then when you're ready, and then let the hand win as you gently rock to the left, tapping the knee down and back to center, and repeat. All right, next time you come to the center, we'll let go of the strap or the foot. We're going to cross the ankle over the right thigh in a gentle figure four for a moment. Take a breath in and out. And now you can try to either reach for the foot with the right hand, so the sole of the foot is in your right palm. If that's not accessible, use the strap, so you can pull it with the strap. Okay, the sole of the foot is facing the right. Let's create isometric contraction, so foot pressed to hand, hand to foot. And then we're going to extend the left arm. Now let the foot win as you exhale, rocking across for the twist. Tap the foot down and then back to center. Repeat. Just noticing how this side feels compared to the other side. Hey, next time back to center. Let's take off the strap, straighten out both legs. Notice the two sides. Follow your breath in and out. All right, if you've got anything big behind the head, let's take it out. I'm going to take out my blanket. Let's bend the knees. Feet and knees are hips distance and parallel. Arms can be relaxed down. And I'm going to press the low back down to the floor. Okay, inhale. Now, as you exhale, let's see about lifting just the tail and a little bit of your butt off the floor, and then lower it back down. Okay, so it's like a little mini start to a bridge pose, okay? So you're gonna press the low back down, exhale, press into your feet, lengthen your tail towards your knees, and just your butt will peel a little bit off the floor if you can, and then lower back down. Okay, let's try it again. This time, you might go a little bit higher. So you might lift the butt off the floor. Can you keep the glutes engaged, the tail lengthening forward and go up a little higher off the floor? And then lowering back down. Good, a couple more times. Maybe you get higher each time. Pressing into those feet, press into the back of your head. Good, now next time you come down, let's draw one knee and then the other in towards your belly. Give them a hug. And notice how it feels through your hips, your low back. Might rock a little bit or make circles on your low back. Following your breath in and following your breath out. Now you can either place your feet down, roll to your side and press up, or you can curl up into a ball and rock yourself up. Okay, we're going to come around onto hands and knees. And you can either, let's grab a block actually. If you don't have a block, you can use a piece of furniture like your chair, or last time we met, we did this with our our regular chair, and just put it up behind us and put our foot on the seat. Okay, this one's a little different. It's a little more gentle. You can also grab some padding for your knees. So I'm going to take a blanket below my knees. Okay. I'm going to rise up and bring my left foot forward. Okay, you might need something to hold on to on your side. I'm going to put the back foot up on the block. Okay, but my knee is on the floor. So when you do this, you want enough padding on the knees. I'm going to pad mine a little more. So this back foot could also be up on the seat of a chair. Okay. Now, so hold furniture if you need to. Front foot is under the knee. It's not back here like this. It's forward. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to tuck my tail, just like we did when we're going into bridge pose. So I draw my tail under until I feel a stretch in the front of this back hip right here. Okay. Get that back glute engaged and breathe. Good. So really feeling that contraction in the quad. Tucking the tail forward. And I'm just going to slightly, with my left hand on my left knee, and exhale, turn a little bit to the right, and then back to center. I'm going to inhale, stretch that right arm up toward the ceiling. Way, way up. Keep the tuck in your tail so you feel the stretch. You might even lean a little bit to the left. Good, and then inhale back up to center. Exhale, let the arm come down. Now, see if you can lift your foot off of that block behind you. You may or may not be able to. You might get a hamstring cramp when you try to do it. So you can come in and out or do what you need to do for that. Good, and then let your foot come down to the floor. So you can kick over your block or move away from your chair. Okay, so now your foot's on the floor. You're gonna walk the left foot a little further forward. You might need to as you start to lunge forward. Now you can take your hands down to the floor, or you might need them on your chair, right? So you could have a chair in front of you or blocks in front of you, and just see how this feels. So when I do this, you guys, I'm not, look at the difference here. In fact, come out of it for a second, back up to this position, right? Now we had that tail tucked. When I start to go forward, I'm going to try to keep that position. Look at what it looks like if I don't keep that position. So if I don't keep that tail tucked, what I do is my back arches. You see that? So I'm arching my back and my pelvis is tipping forward. Nothing wrong with this. It's just doing something different than what I'm trying to do today with you. Okay, so tail tucked forward. So coming forward a little bit and then back up. Pressing into that left foot. And again. Okay, let's come up. Let's bring that knee down. You might feel like you need to stretch your legs back a couple of times before switching sides. If you realized that you needed some support with stuff around you, you can get that set up. Okay, now I'm going to bring my right leg forward. I'm going to get my block set up for my left foot or my furniture if you're using furniture. Back up here. Boom. Okay, so front knee is over front ankle. Once you get set up, no rush. And it feel like I'm lifting my pubic bone up toward my belly button or tucking the tail under and breathing. You can hold on to stuff if it helps. Make sure you get enough padding. Another way to do this is in the chair like we practiced last time. Seated in the chair, it's much different. You don't have the foot lifted or anything like that. Okay, now I'm just very slowly, right hand on right knee. I'm just gonna exhale, slowly turn my chest toward the left a little bit. And I'll come back to the center. Retuck the tail. Inhale, stretching the left arm up as high as you can. Notice what happens then. And keeping that tuck of the tail, you can lean to the right a little bit. And then inhale up to center. Let the arm come down. Exhale. Let's make sure that got that tuck of the pelvis. Oh, wait. And try to lift the foot off the floor. I almost forgot. Or off the block. And you might get a cramp, right? If you get a cramp and you need to come out of it, you just kind of stretch yourself out. Or you come in and out, lifting and lowering. It's just that hamstring working super hard. It might not be used to that. Okay, and now let's let the foot come down to the floor. I'm gonna tug the pelvis, right? And we're just gonna gently come into a lunge. Now, again, remember we're being conscious of not tipping the pelvis forward. So I'm not letting that pelvis dump. Like if I do that, I can come pretty far forward, right? But I'm gonna try to keep that tail tucked and slowly come in and out. A lot of times when we have pain in the front of the hip flexor, people think that all you got to do is stretch, right? So they do these kinds of things all the time and it just doesn't make it go away. So what we want to really be doing is, of course, see your physical therapist or whoever you need to see to find out what exactly is going on. But a lot of times it needs to be strengthened. Strengthen the glutes, strengthen the hips. All right. Good job, you guys. So from here, can bring that other foot back and let's go through a downward dog or a bear get up. You can walk your hands back or you can hang out here for a moment. And then slowly come up to Tadasana when you're ready, standing. Whew. So when you get to standing, just take your toes and spread them out if you can, or move them around, wiggle them around. Rock on your feet a few times. Roll your shoulders a few times. Loosen up your jaw. All right, and then just stand for a moment. So then find a still position. You can find something to look at and just let your eyes soften. Feel your breath go in and out. And then as you inhale, let's open up the arms like cactus arms and take them back if you can, wide chest. And exhale, just wrap right arm on top. Inhale, open up again. You can lift the chest. You can arch your back if you want to. And exhale, left arm on top of right for a hug. Good. This time, let's just open. And then exhale, arms come down. Let's inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. And then exhale, just drop them. And again. And one more time. All right, just shake it out. And let's get the chair seat so that it's facing you. We are going to be balancing a little bit with one leg on the chair, one foot on the chair. You may feel like you want your wall or a piece of furniture next to you, so feel free to get that set up if you need it. Okay, so we're going to stand in front of the chair, and let's just test this out a few times. So we're standing Tadasana, inhale, get a focal point, and as you exhale, can you lift the right leg up and place it on the chair? Okay, inhale. And now as you exhale, we're going to try to just lift it and slowly bring it straight back and down. Inhale, stand tall, get a focal point. Exhale, left leg steps up and place it softly on the chair. Inhale. And exhale, bring it down. Okay, and just notice, are you able to go that high forward with your leg, right? Let's try both sides again. So you're able to bring it up and then maybe see if you can hover over the chair for a moment before you place it down. You can even hold it. So if it's easy for you, you don't have to place it down. And then see if you can, when you're ready, bring it down, going straight back. So that what I mean by straight back is not like going out to the side with the knee. Okay, so you hover it possibly, and then when you go to bring it down, can you bring it straight down? You're just noticing for yourself. Of course, if you were not able to do this, let's do it again another round. You could always do it on something shorter. Like for example, you could get a lower stool and try to lift it if it can't get all the way to the seat. Okay, now the next time you get to your right side, let's see if we can hold it and hover for as a few breaths if you can. You can always bring it down whenever you need to. Really strengthen up this standing leg, and then let's set the foot down. Okay, so foot on chair, still getting your balance. Let's inhale, take your arms up toward the ceiling. And exhale, we're going to turn our chest toward the right. Your left hand comes to outer right knee. Your right hand can either reach back behind you straight, or it can come to your hip or your low back. Good. Just notice what that bottom foot and ankle are doing. They might be kind of calibrating for you. Keep breathing. Good. Now on your exhale, let's come back around to the front. Inhale, let's try to take the arms up again. And as you exhale, let's try to hold and lift the foot, hovering off the chair. And step down, bringing your arms down. Good. All right, just step side to side a little bit. And inhale, standing tall. Exhale, let's try the left knee forward and hover. Couple breaths there if you can. Noticing any difference between the sides. Good, then setting that foot down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're twisting toward the left. Your right hand comes across to outer knee. Left arm can stretch back straight or it can come to the hip. Can turn your head whatever amount feels good to you. Good. On your exhale, untwisting yourself. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, let's slowly try to hover that foot off the chair. Can hold for a breath or two. And then step it down. Good. All right. Now let's just circle the hips around, hula hoop the hips. And then reverse directions. Okay. Let's try another pose here with the chair. All right, so we're going to stand in front of it again. Again, you might need your balance support. And inhale, stand tall. Exhale, right leg lifts, hovers, and then steps down. Okay. Now, I'm going to straighten my right leg out on the chair as much as I can. Now, when you straighten it, something like this starts to happen to you, like you start to round and having to bend this standing leg, then you're going to keep it a little bent so that you can stand upright. Okay, so just get yourself set up so that your bottom hip is over the ankle, foot's facing forward. Okay, your bottom leg is able to be straight and that you're able to have a neutral pelvis. Okay, here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Some of you are already getting a stretch in your hamstring. You would just stay here if you feel a stretch in the back of your leg. If you don't, you may need to hinge forward a little bit or a lot. So you could take your hands down to the chair. That might be a lot too far. Or you might just rest it on the thighs somewhere. You might hold furniture on either side. Just keep breathing. And when you're ready, if you're folded forward on your exhale, slowly come back up. Inhale, bend the knee again. And exhale, see if you can hover and step it down. All right, let's try the other side. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, let's lift left knee up, hover for a moment, and then place it down. Then inhale, straightening out the leg a little or a lot so that you can stand upright without tucking the pelvis and the bottom leg straight. Okay, so it's okay to have it bent. And from here, notice, are you getting a stretch in the back of your leg? If not, you're going to exhale as you attempt to hinge, keeping length so the pubic bone goes back. Example of the pubic bone going forward would be something like this. Okay, because now I'm rounding, my pubic bone's moving forward. Okay, I'm going to try to hinge at the hip. You can relax your shoulders and neck though. Take a couple more breaths there. Good, and then when you're ready, inhale, get long, and exhale, rise up. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, hover, step down, and hula hoop. All right. Let's inhale, open the arms wide, arms straight this time. And exhale, right arm over left. You can do a hug. And there's this little hook that you can manage to get in the elbows without get all caught up around the ears like this. Get wide across the shoulders or the top of the upper back. Stretching the elbows forward. Good. And relaxing around your jaw. Let's take another breath there. You can also inhale, open the arms wide. And exhale, left over right. Same thing, either a hug or eagle arms. Okay. So we're sending those elbows forward. Relaxing around the jaw. Good. And then inhale, open the arms. And exhale, bring the arms down. All right, now you can use either your chair or the wall for support for this next part, okay? I'm gonna put it on one side of you for baby dancer pose, okay? So it could be on your side. I'm just gonna hold the wall here. We stand in Tadasana, inhaling, stand tall. Actually, I'm gonna show it with the chair so you can see me from the side. And then exhale, doesn't matter which side, okay? You're just gonna bend your knee so the foot goes behind you and see if you can reach for the foot. Okay, now, if you can't reach the foot, it's a little tricky to do this, but you could always, first of all, just hold it without holding the foot, okay, and that'll strengthen your hamstrings. Or you could wrap your strap around it and pull it in. But if you do that, you want to choke up on it as much as you can. Get close to the foot, okay? So we're here, and again, see how my pelvis is dumping forward? Instead of doing that, I'm going to try to draw my tailbone forward, my pubic bone lifting, and you may or may not be able to line up your knees next to one another, okay? The other hand can be holding on to balance. If you don't need the balance, you could try taking the arm up. Good, and breathe, nice. Good, and release. Stepping down, just step side to side a little bit. You can turn around so that you've got your balance support on the opposite side. When you're ready, get your focal point. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, without your hand, just bend the other knee, taking the foot up. Notice how that feels. Okay. Then either use your strap or hand, get the foot. Then notice what your pelvis is doing. See if you can start to draw the pubic bone forward and perhaps line up the knees. If you want to make it more of a balanced pose, you can try letting go of your support. Good, and then release. Okay, so now we're going to try this with either the wall or a piece of furniture in front of you. I'm going to use the chair. So you'll need a higher surface. And what I'm going to do is inhale and exhale. I'm going to step my right leg forward, bend it a little bit. See that little bend, and then lift the left foot off the floor behind me again. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can stay here, or you can even go a little higher with the foot. See what I'm doing here? Hinging at the hip. Or you can try to reach for your back foot and hinge forward a little bit while you lift your chest up for dancer pose. So let me show it here with the wall. I like it a little better with the wall. I'm trying to turn both hips forward. So I'm not opening this hip to the side like this. I'm turning it forward. Again, you could use a strap, or you could just use the leg and do it this way. And release. Let go. One thing I didn't mention, which I should have mentioned, is to kick the foot back into your hand. So if I just grab the foot and hinge, I do this, right? But if I kick the foot, see what happens? Now I'm kicking it. So let's try it with the other side doing that. And you can always go back to the first side if you want to experiment too. Okay, so we'll inhale, stand tall. Exhale, left foot steps forward, little bend. And then lifting the right leg back behind you, bending the knees. So you're just getting a feel for it at first. I've got a little hinge going on. And then if you want to reach for the foot, you can. And now I'll say it a little more correctly. Can you try to kick the foot back into the strap or hand if you're doing that? Lifting up through your chest if you can. Just notice how that might have changed it. And release. All right, nice work. Let's just move around. Instead of doing our hula hoops, you could do those a time or two, but then let's also do a little bit of side bending. So just lean to one side and then the other. I got my feet a little wider than my shoulders. Okay, you guys come back to center. Walk the feet back in. Just noticing how you're feeling. All the way from your feet to your hands, to your head. All right, we're going to have a seat in the chair. I'm going to show this from this side again. Okay, I'm going to sit forward in the chair if you can. Feet flat on the floor. My feet are hips distance. So I have room to put my hands here. Now, actually, it's really nice also if you can grab the back of the chair. So if you have a kind of chair where you can grab the back, like a dining chair or something, or one of these folding chairs, you can grab there, or you can put your hands down. Okay, we're gonna inhale and just roll the shoulder heads back and lift the chest. And when I do this, I like to lean a little forward just to get a little more of a stretch through the front of my shoulders. Kind of like you're the masthead on the front of a ship, kind of breaking through the waves here. Make sure your neck and jaw feel at ease. Let's take one more breath. Good, and then just rest and release. You can stay with that if your wrists or shoulders can't handle putting more weight on them. If you're not sure, you might give this a try. So you're gonna do a version of a pose that's reverse tabletop or a version of Purvottanasana. And I'm gonna do, and I'll just show it first, okay? So I'll be putting my hands down just behind my hips. And I'll inhale to roll my shoulder heads back. I walk my feet a little forward because when I exhale, I'm going to try to lift my hips off the chair. That's step one. And then step two is see how I tucked my tail under like a bridge pose, but it's a reverse tabletop and lifting up off the chair. So you can give it a try. Feet are stable, legs are stable, glutes are engaged. And then when you're ready to, come on down and just rest. Okay, you might roll the wrists around. So a lot of things could get in the way here of your ability to lift off the chair. One might be wrist or shoulder, just strength, right? Just kind of getting up off. And then say you've got that, but you're having trouble getting height. It may be that you don't have a lot of mobility in the front of your hips, or your glutes are weak, or your legs are weak, right? So you might be able to get here, but you feel like you're kind of here instead of, right? So this time let's pay attention. Again, you can always do this instead. All right, let's do another round. Here we go. When you're ready, inhale, set yourself up. And exhale, press into your feet. Try to lift your hips as you tuck your tail and lift. Really engage those glutes. You can engage from the pelvic floor as well into your lower abdominals. Good, and then when you're ready, come on back down. Let's fold forward. So you can widen the feet. I've got mine pretty wide, and lean onto your forearms, or you could even come down toward the floor. All right, and when you're ready, slowly coming back up to forearms and then up. We're gonna lean forward, inhale, and exhale, squat and lift. You can move your chair out of the way unless you need it to help you get down on the floor. Have your block, or you could use a rolled up blanket instead if you'd like. Just have that close by. And then you can walk yourself down to the floor, reverse get up. Placing your feet down and then shifting the hips to one side. Taking the legs in front of you. And then let's try to slowly lower down if you can. You might need your hands to support you as you lower down, right? Or you might feel like you could lower down without your hands. And once you get down to the floor, take an inhale and a sigh. Good. Just going to do a supported bridge pose, okay? So you can use a rolled up blanket that's nice and firm, or a couple towels, or your block, all right? Low or medium height for the block. I'm going to get myself set up for bridge pose, and then inhale to lift the hips off the floor and slide that block underneath the sacrum, which is right at the bottom of the lumbar spine between the two pelvic halves, so on the bones of your pelvis. Okay. Of course, you could always take the block to the medium height if that feels better. You want to make sure this feels relaxing, not intense. Okay, it's meant to be restorative. Some of you know variations on this. You could always take one or both legs up toward the ceiling, or straighten out a leg on the floor. So feel free to take any variations you might like. Now, you could always stay in this resting pose here, or you might choose to lift off of your prop and slide it out of the way, lowering down and either twisting or giving your knees a hug. And finding either Shavasana or another resting pose, getting yourself comfortable. Again, taking a few sighs. And then practicing letting go of effort.